I know, you guys are all wondering if the man you're dating is toxic or not, but honestly, who cares? Was he toxic? Was he not toxic? Who cares? It does not matter. And you know why? This might hurt, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. Maybe, only maybe, you are the one who was toxic. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Michaela, and today I'm going to talk about how to really attract a high value man and why you keep ending up with the toxic ones. Let's get right into this. First of all, we accept the love we think we deserve. Yes, it's easy to point the finger on the other person and say, he was toxic, he is the bad person, he is narcissist. I am the master of doing that, okay? I love to point my finger on the other person and say he was just such a bad man. But the truth is, it's not important if he was toxic or not. It actually isn't, because it's not in your hands. You can't change it, you can't do anything. You have to ask yourself, not if he was toxic, you have to ask yourself, why did I accept this behavior? Why did I entertain it? Why did I stay in it so long? People always show you who they are very early on, but you choose to ignore it. And then you have to ask yourself, why did you ignore it? It's not because of love. It's not because he was such a good manipulator and deceived you. No, he was not confusing you. You were the one who saw the inconsistency, who were hurt, who felt the pain, who saw the lack of effort, mixed signals. You realized there was cheating, there were lies, and you chose to stay with this person. You chose to believe in a version of this person that showed you this version is not who they are. And until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. It's not about bad luck. It's not about all men are trash. No. This is about patterns. And these patterns always come from what do you feel familiar with, what feels like chemistry, and what is your nervous system used to. Ask yourself, how did you experience love when you were a child? How did your mom experience love? What are you used to? And what is really love for you? You don't attract what you want, you always attract what you are. And this is not about looks or lifestyle, it is about patterns. If your emotional patterns are overgiving, chasing, needing validation, tolerating disrespect because of fear of losing someone, being very attached, this is what creates your dating pool. This is what determines who you are going to date, who you are going to choose to let into your life, who you are going to entertain, and also who you are going to attract. Believe me, a good man, a high value man, can actually lose interest, become distant, or even disrespectful if he finds himself in the wrong dynamic. So it's very, very important that you know your own patterns first, and you are going to be that high value woman that a high value man would be attracted to. Sometimes they are attracted to us, but we are not attracted to them because of our pattern. You actually need to be the high value woman first before you can attract a high value man. But this is not about looks. You need to be who you want to attract, also on an emotional level. I have noticed for myself that I kept attracting toxic patterns, toxic dynamics in my life because I do not act like a high value woman when I'm emotional. My emotional patterns are desperate, pathetic, and all over the place. I came to the conclusion that actually, no, I am not responsible for someone else's actions. I'm not responsible for whatever their patterns or their dynamics are. I always kept analyzing the other person and looking for the mistake, what they did wrong. I am taking radical responsibility for my behavior. I don't care if the other person did me wrong or not. I entertained it. I stayed in toxic patterns. I attracted this person and I was attracted to this person, okay? So it will keep continue if I'm not changing it. And even though I thought I have been my best version of myself, I was taking care of how I look, I'm living a high value life, I obviously was not high value in all areas of my life. So if you truly want to be a high value woman, look at your emotional patterns first. Everyone can be beautiful, everyone can make money, everyone can have the nicer things in life and be a soft feminine woman, but what is about your intellect? What is about your emotions? What is about your regulation? What is about your interhuman connections? You cannot expect a different outcome from repeating the same patterns. Especially if you have had already a few relationships and all of those relationships have been ending up in the same way or have been very similar. All of them were toxic. The common denominator is you. Yes, you can point your finger. Yes, you can blame the other person. But ultimately, the common denominator is you. And you will not come further, you will not move on and attract differently if you keep doing the way you were doing before. If you keep choosing the way you were choosing before. If you keep entertaining the same things you were entertaining before. And many times, this is not a love problem or a relationship problem. This is a self-respect problem that you have. Chasing, overgiving, and tolerating does not have to do anything with being feminine, being soft and understanding. It actually is pathetic. It allows toxic dynamics and it comes from zero self-respect. You don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate on. And no, this does not mean that you should negotiate on your standards. This means that standards are not what you say. Standards are about what you allow, what you stay in, and what you walk away from. You can be the sweetest, nicest, most loving and caring and most beautiful woman on earth. Yet you will be disrespected if you tolerate it, if you allow it, and if you do not have any consequences for people doing that. If you have zero self-respect, you would rather stay in relationships, rather tolerate disrespect instead of enforcing your boundaries and letting go people that do not align with your standards and boundaries. You will be mistreated. You will be disrespected. You will be finding yourself in toxic dynamics, even with the best people on earth. People will always treat you the way you allow them to treat you. And this is actually not only about men. This is about all relationships, with friendships, with love relationships, with family, with everyone that you are interacting with. If you allow them to disrespect you, if you allow them to step over you, if you allow them to do whatever they want with you, of course they're gonna do that. If you do not even respect yourself, how do you think someone else will ever respect you? What you tolerate is what will continue. Every time you accept less, every time you let a person step over your boundaries, every time you're tolerating things that hurt you, you actually are telling yourself, hey girl, you're not enough, you have to tolerate disrespect, you have to tolerate pain because nothing else is going to come. Nobody else will ever treat you better. And if you yourself are talking to yourself in that manner, nothing else will show up differently. And I did that all the time. I always told myself, oh, it's not such a big of a deal. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I didn't understand it right. Maybe I can do something else. I can act differently. I can do things differently. And then it will not happen again. Maybe I can understand the person better. No, this is so wrong, because every time when I did that, I was also telling myself that I am wrong with having certain standards, with feeling pain, and I did do that a lot. Every time I was facing disrespect, I was trying to explain it to myself and talking it away and making it seem like it was not such a big of a deal, or if I brought it up and the reaction was not as I wish it was, I was getting so anxious and I was really blaming it on myself. But the actual fact is that I tolerated disrespect. I tolerated someone treating me badly. I tolerated someone treating me in a way I do not want to be treated. And that's the only problem. If you as a woman always accept, always explain, always try to understand, you're also always allowing it. And you're going to get more of it. And honestly, I have heard many things on Instagram, in reels, on social media, and some people say, oh, there is no princess treatment. Princess treatment is not real. You as a woman, you gotta do more, you gotta bring something to the table, that you have to look at yourself and do more, give more, and change the way how you see things. But to be honest, if I am talking to a woman who has been overgiving, overdoing, over-explaining, and doing more than necessary, and she has been hurt or she has been finding herself in abusive and toxic relationships over and over again, the problem here is not that she should give more and do more. No, the problem is that she has to have more self-respect, higher standards, and enforce those boundaries. So if you're watching my video right now and you're already having high self-respect and you're very demanding and entitled with men, then my content is probably the wrong content to watch, because I'm going to tell you, have higher standards, higher self-respect, so you will stop finding yourself in those dynamics. But I'm definitely also not telling you to be rude, to be entitled, and to be very demanding. No. If you don't change direction, you will end up exactly where you are right now. Become the woman that you admire. Become the woman that does not accept and tolerate chaos, and be ready for peace. Whatever it is that you want in your life, it is a man, it is a certain income, it is a job. It might was already right in front of your nose, but you didn't see it, you didn't acknowledge it, or you just didn't find it attractive at that moment because you were not the right match for that in that moment. You were not attracted to what you actually wanted. So think about it. Who is that woman that you want to be? Is she emotionally regulated? How is she dealing with a situation when a man is just disappearing? How is she dealing with disrespect? How is she dealing with difficulties in life, with stress situations? How is she dealing with all of this on an emotional side? What is the woman that you admire doing? And it helps if you look at someone on the internet that you admire. For example, let's say you admire the Wizard Liz. What exactly is it that you admire in her? Is it her strength, her self-respect? Is it that she is a YouTuber? Is it her confidence? Think about it and write it down. Do not write down any superficial things. I want you to not think about the money and the looks. Think about the energy behind it. What is the energy that you admire in this person? And then ask yourself and inform yourself, how can you get to this? Because usually we admire what we don't have. Now, if I'm watching Wizard Liz and I'm thinking, wow, she has such a high self-respect and she values herself, she loves herself, that's what I admire in her, because most probably I'm missing it. And now it's my turn to reinforce that, to learn how to do that. Get therapy. Yes, I'm doing therapy every week. I am working on myself. I'm trying to understand myself, and I am choosing to learn to become a better version of me. I will become the woman that I admire to be. It takes certain steps. It's not comfortable, but it's way better than choosing the same patterns that hurt me over and over again. Self-respect is the root of all discipline. If you go to brush your teeth, it is because you respect yourself enough to know, hey, you're gonna brush your teeth every morning and every night, because otherwise you will have nasty teeth and your mouth will stink. If you choose to eat healthy every single day, you choose to go to the gym every single day, it is because you respect yourself, okay? Discipline is nothing else than self-respect. Now, if you struggle with discipline, you struggle with self-respect. And I have seen this reel just today. She's saying that princess treatment is not real. It's all about entitlement, and women think they have to bring nothing to the table and they deserve everything without doing anything. Princess treatment is real, but it has nothing to do with doing nothing, sitting back and expecting the man to do everything, give everything, being entitled and demanding. Princess treatment or queen treatment is something you get from a man because you have standards, he sees that you value yourself, you have self-control and emotional stability. A man that truly loves you, a man that sees that you have those qualities of a queen or princess, he will treat you as one, not because he has to, not because you demand it, because this is his nature, okay? Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. Many times now we want attention, we want reassurance, validation, temporary feelings and emotions, but what we want most is respect, stability and real love. Now if you find yourself in a disagreement, let's say with a man, because we are at this topic right now, and he is hanging up on you, very disrespectful, right? If your first initial reaction is, I'm anxious, I need to call back, I need to check, I need to fix, then this is what you want right now. And at the same time, you are ruining what you want most, which is, of course, respect. So many times we are self-sabotaging because we act on that urges, on what we want right now. We forget about what we want most and what actually is needed to get what we want most. And that's when discipline again comes into play. If you need that constant attention and validation and you do not have enough discipline to stick through the consequences that you give when someone is disrespecting you, when someone is doing something that hurt you, you simply are lacking self-respect. If you're lacking self-respect, you are lacking discipline. If you're lacking discipline, you are also sabotaging yourself in relationships, in everything in life. If you want to lose weight and you keep eating junk food because you do not have enough discipline, aka self-respect, you're not going to achieve to have a better body. If you want to grow a business but you do not have the discipline to do whatever is necessary every single day, you are lacking self-respect. You are self-sabotaging. Your life doesn't get better by chance, it gets better by change. I want you to finally stop asking, where do I find a high-value man? Was my ex toxic? Is the person that I'm dating toxic, narcissistic, a psychopath or a sociopath? Stop all of this and put all the focus and energy on you and into you, asking, who do I need to become so I stop entertaining anything less? Now, if you want to know exactly how to become this high-value woman, how to recognize the right man and the wrong man very, very early on so you stop wasting your time on the wrong ones, I have written a best-selling book that you can download right in the link below. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope this could help and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.